Okay, everybody, I am honored today to be joined by the legendary actress slash rock star Juliette Lewis, who plays Nedra Frank in the new HBO limited series. I Know This Much Is True. Juliette, how are you doing in these crazy times?
I'm doing good, all things considered.
Good.
Um, in other times, I might be hanging on by a thread. But, as long, my mom is healthy, so that makes me happy.
Good. That's really good to hear. So I think there was just an exciting reaction people had seeing you in the show on Sunday night. I really wanted to delve into that scene you had with Mark Ruffalo at the end there. When you show
Yeah.
up to Dominic's house and he says to you about the manuscript, "So is it almost done?" And you respond,
Yeah.
"Can you just not pressure me? I just do not do well with pressure." I feel like when you said that line, I know that type of person so well.
Good.
What I was wondering though, for you, this character of Nedra, did this come from a person you knew or is part of Juliette in Nedra?
No, I wanted to meet a person. That line, by the way, was so key. That's so instrumental to who that person is at that point in her life. She's a pressure cooker. She's like a cyclone that comes through Dominic's life. And, I did my research, talking to a couple women who are in that world. They're in a man's game. It's the late 80s. They're the world of academia. You're getting, patronized everywhere you turn. The pressure is ever mounting. They have stacks of papers. Never finishing, you're barely making ends meet. So all of that was informative of where she's at. And then you match that with all her neuroses, her competitiveness with men, she basically dumps everything that she's doing to Dominic, meaning objectifying, accusing him of wanting one thing. That's her. She's doing all of that. So, like all people, she just wants to be held. No. But it's really funny to play this juggernaut of energy and neuroses, and also visually to look different. The curly hair, I really wanted her to have curly hair. I sort of wanted her to be messy, but she's wound really tight, and then she's in a very professional, highbrow, in her world, arena. So she dresses up her mess with good speaking skills.
Right. So to your point about saying that, she's got all this energy to her, there's a life to her, she's like a firecracker. You've been in this game of acting your whole life. You're just an incredible actress. How do you keep, though, that energy up? How do you find the motivation to keep giving 110%, which you always do in your roles, but especially here? Like, where are you finding that now late in the game?
Well, yes, it feels like my whole life, but I haven't done acting my whole life. But yes, I was very young. I got to tell you, that's the quest. The quest is always how to meet each experience with a fresh head and with the vigor of youth. But what was radical about this experience was Derek, the filmmaker. Derek and Mark together as a team. Mark is one of my favorite actors. He's one of the greats. I know him personally, but we never worked together. And Derek Cianfrance, this director, blew my mind. The way he approaches things, he wants you to discover things that weren't written. So that's new. That's different. In the land of TV, when you're under the gun for time, you don't often go to a set and go, hey, let's do 1,000 takes and we're going to try different versions. You're going to be more composed at the end, or you're going to explode, or you're going to try this. So we really got to have fun in the action of it. It was really great.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I noticed, too, there was like little brilliance in your performance here, especially like when Dominic first hands you the beer and you scowl at it, looking at it that it's Rolling Rock. Like, I wonder, like, how much of that is improv on set? So you're saying he's giving you guys a lot of room to kind of breathe and just...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most of it.
Wow.
Most of it, you're just playing off each other. What is structured is she enters the doorway. She, the starting points. You start the scene, but we had to find all of it where I walk. Oh my God, that was the other thing. Derek had, the way the DP worked is they could follow you. So, because that's unusual too. Usually you structure your behavior. And so this was very loose, so that the majority of it was filmed, and not too much is premeditated. But of course, if it's written in the scene, they order pizza, and then there's a time cut. You got to get the pizza and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it, and each, I'm in a few episodes, but each thing is so there's a whole journey to it, from where they start to where they end up, and how Nedra is helping Dominic, Mark's journey, his character's journey of discovering the mythology of his grandfather and his family through, he needs Nedra to translate this manuscript.
So from what we saw in the first episode, would you say Nedra at all actually wants to genuinely help him with this manuscript, or is she kind of holding this over his head to like keep her in his life?
Yeah, she's a funny one because she's like a cat on a hot tin roof, meaning
Yes.
she sees this macho man. The first thing she sees, she literally is what she's accusing a man of being, is that he walks into her space. She is so stressed, overworked, underslept, underpaid, and yes, she's going to translate the manuscript, but also as a woman, she's just seeing this man, and he's like a hobby, like a pet project. How is she going to unwind? How will she unwind this guy? And she does it through all her weird reverse psychology. But yes, on the surface, she needs to get paid.
Right.
So she's going to translate the manuscript. And then he pisses her off.
So what I want to know too is what you just said about, he pisses her off. So when she actually goes in to kiss him and dance with him towards the end there, can you just explain a little bit? Because like, is she snapping at that moment because he's apparently laughing, right? Like that's how I was kind of reading it. Like, does she feel complete rejection there?
Oh yeah. I mean, this was such a fun scene because we talked, Derek, Mark, and we all talked about moments where you've been on either side of that experience, where you're misreading signals. You think someone's feeling one way or the other, and the whole thing ends in disaster. And I think it's so funny. I just love uncomfortable moments in life, and the way you get to express those in a story, because we all go through it. But oh my God, yeah, this is really funny. The rejection, and we also know what Dominic's feeling. He's not feeling this woman at all. She's a disaster. So the whole thing, his confliction is really interesting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, by the way, you just steal this scene too with your drunk dancing. It's so on point. It's so
good.
It's so funny. So, but what I always think is like, I know you've been open about being sober since your 20s. How do you tap into that now? And can it be uncomfortable for you in some ways, like doing that?
I don't want to give the wrong. I'm just not an drug. I don't do drugs. But
Okay.
I'm not like a sober. I just don't want to give the wrong thing. Yes, I drink a pina colada here and there.
Okay, so you're actually drinking a beer in that scene. You're not drinking like apple juice.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, we don't drink on set.
Oh,
My goodness.
got you.
No. No. I just didn't want to give the wrong thing. Since I was 22, I don't do drugs or stuff like that. Okay. Anyway, so the playing those scenes, it's a challenge. It's really fun to play. There's a couple things in acting that are fun to play, and they can be done really bad, and that's acting buzzed or drunk. People can do it really poorly.
Right.
And so I'm glad to hear you say it looked like a drunk girl trying to be seductive, because that's what that was. And Derek was so fun. He just let it roll. I was like, oh my God, is this too much or whatever? Because as Juliette, me doing it, it's so uncomfortable because she is full of herself. It's the worst thing when drunk people think they're composed or looking cool or whatever, and they're a train wreck. So that was really fun to do. I can't wait to see it, actually, in what he used.
Oh yeah, he lets it go. That's what I love about his work, is like you were saying, like he lets the scene play out, and I think that just makes it have such a big payoff. And I wonder too, you just said about her being like, you know, this very like kind of narcissistic person. Like, do you also feel she has some sort of like martyr syndrome?
Yes. Well, what she wants to do, I have no doubt that she's experienced challenges. She's in a what was predominantly a male-run profession, and she's trying to find her own voice and assert her own voice within this world of being a scholar. So, but I also think there are people that set up situations where they can play that out. Like, see what you did to me? You did this. So that's exactly, we watch her not being with it. You know what I mean? Not giving a shit about another person's perspective and then accusing them of not caring about hers. It's great.
I love that.
It was so neat to play personality like that, who's a real blamey. Yeah, what you're saying. So, but she's super intelligent, and I feel very confident at what she does. Okay.
I love that. Juliette, thank you so much for joining me and talking about this episode. It was a lot of fun. Is there anything else you would like to plug besides I Know This Much Is True at the moment?
I guess what I want to say is just, this is exciting to give people a story and something they can have an adventure with and have some good entertainment. And then, to plug? Oh, I'm selling some T-shirts on my Instagram that goes to charity for animal rescue, because the animals always need help and saving. So you can always go to my Instagram. That's just my name, Juliette Lewis. And there's some cute things, and it goes to charity, and I like doing that.
And some great videos on that Instagram account as well, including that Boss Bitch Challenge that just came out. Please watch it if you haven't seen that.
Oh, yeah. Zoe Bell, great Zoe Bell, a first-rate stunt coordinator who did Quentin's last movie. It's Brad Pitt and DiCaprio. I worked with her on this roller derby movie. Anyway, it's this really fun viral video where we're all pretending to be hit and giving punches, and check it out.
Love it. You heard it from her yourself. Check her out. And I Know This Much Is True Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on HBO. And you can also get that HBO On Demand and HBO Go. And check out her music. She is an awesome musician as well. She kicks ass. Thank you so much, Juliette, for joining me. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Thank you so much. And stay healthy and safe. Thank you.
You too.
Bye.
Thanks.